Net zany, the insane, mad world of net zero policies all around the world. They're realising how incredibly lunatic most of this stuff is, including here. Listen to this. This woman is a climate aficionado, an environmentalist, green to the gills.
Yeah.
See what she thinks. Listen to her about the net zero madness. Have a listen.
These so-called green or ethical solutions aren't solutions at all, just very good marketing from the $1.5 trillion a year climate change industry. That's $4 billion a day, by the way. None of us can undo what's already been done, but what we can all do is make sure this doesn't escalate exponentially with fleets of unnecessary EVs and acres of solar farms eating up our precious farmland.
There you have it in a nutshell, exactly what Chris Bowen is doing to this country. Acres and acres of prime Australian farming land being destroyed with these solar panels, windmills, transmission lines, fleets of EVs that we're supposed to be rushing out to buying, and the environmentalists themselves around the world are saying this stuff is destroying the environment, Rita.
Well, it is. You can only have to travel to the countryside to see it's scarred by these projects. And of course, it's affecting land that could be farmed on. And we talk about food security, you talk about all sorts of issues. And will that soil be fit for any sort of agriculture once a solar farm is removed, or is it going to be too contaminated to
In
actually...
many instances, James, these things are just left there to rot. The toxicities in the soil from the chemicals, from the materials used in the windmills and solar farms is unbelievable. And the solar farms, by then the Chinese solar farm owner has moved on.
Well, that's the
Not
thing.
their problem.
This is the thing. And people, I think, need to really be across what's happening here. You know, these companies that are doing this, they are not in this because they want to save the planet. Forget what their ads say. Forget about the brochures. Forget about their boardroom commitments to net zero and, you know, greening the planet and all of that nonsense. This is all about big, big, big money. And they do not care. And I have gone and I've met with communities in country New South Wales who have got these solar farms coming, and they have been treated like absolute garbage by huge international companies that have huge carbon-intensive energy projects. They're using these projects to greenwash, to get subsidies, to get you know, all of the sort of the renewable credits that come from these sorts of things, but they're not economic. They do not actually have much intention of really ever delivering a lot of power into the grid, and yet they're leaving communities devastated by their presence, as well as the farmland. It's really, really bad what's going on.
It's large-scale grifters. I mean,
Yes.
They see the taxpayer funds, they see the guarantee of money that is going to be there, the market manipulation. If this was market-led and we let the market play out, if there was genuine demand for these products, then fine. And if investors were going in, recognising an opportunity. But there is so much market manipulation here that you do have these opportunists who see the chance to make some easy money. That's what they do. We all pay for it through these exorbitant energy costs now. And those costs are going to continue because we've got so much infrastructure work that needs to take place if we're going to get to net zero that forget about a $270 supposed saving we were promised. We're going to be paying way, way more than what we've already paid.
Our children will be paying through the nose to clean up the mess that these renewable grifters and vandals are leaving across our country and in our oceans if Chris Bowen gets his way. And it's worth pointing out that at a political level, the grift is right on. You have the people like the Labor Party, the Greens, and particularly the Teals pushing an agenda which is clearly benefiting the big end of town in the renewables industry. That's all they're doing. They demonise nuclear because that's competition to the renewables.
And we shouldn't be surprised that the Green and Teal seats all happen to be in the most affluent parts of the country. They're not in the outer suburbs. They're in places where the people can afford the extra
Where they can
bills.
afford to put the, you know, another $2,000 a quarter, who cares? Whatever, that's fine for them. But, you know, also these communities too, these companies, they come in and they say, oh, well, we're going to bring in local jobs. There's going to be all these new local jobs. And again, that is hogwash. That is utter nonsense. Many of these projects are actually done by foreign companies bringing in foreign workers, foreign contractors, and the communities don't see a brass razoo.
Meanwhile, we've had Air New Zealand this week have come out and said, nice of them to be honest, that's good, we'd like more of this. I wish we'd hear the same from Qantas and Virgin. Air New Zealand have said, no, there's no way we can ever reach this net zero stuff. Forget it, forget the targets, ain't happening. Bit of honesty there. The truth is, will hurt Bowen and others, but this is the truth. They can't reach these targets. It's just more virtue signalling. We have the Capital Metro, a mob who are scrapping all their electric bus fleets because guess what, Rita? What happens if you have an electric bus? It doesn't get you to where you're going. The whole idea of a bus is to get you from A to B.
Seems to be a fairly crucial point in public transport, yes? Point A to point B.
Exactly. So the grift is on there. Net zero is a complete farce. Bowen and his mob are pulling the wool over your eyes. The sooner we kick them out of power, the better, and get some common sense and sanity back into this.
Twiggy's back with his green hydrogen dreams, because we thought he'd abandon those because he pretty much said that. But no. He wants New South Wales, James, to spend good money in this pursuit.
This is what this all comes down to. Green hydrogen does not exist. This does not exist on any commercial scale. It is so expensive. You cannot make it happen. It is energy negative. It has to be chilled to incredible temperatures. The storage is just incredibly difficult. This idea that we're going to import this stuff around the world is insane. And yet the New South Wales taxpayer, this guy, is going to, and this guy here too, is going to be on the hook if Twiggy Forrest, who's already got plenty of money, more than he knows what to do with, gets his way, so that we can all subsidize more of this green hydrogen dream. Well, look at what's been happening to Fortescue, and you see where that's going.
And shortly, we'll be chatting to Willie Packer, who's invested in uranium up in the Northern Territory, only to find out last week that the Labor Party go, oh, no, we're not having any of that. We're shutting down potential jobs for Indigenous Australians and for Australians to make money. That's what the Labor Party grifters all around. When you hear them attacking nuclear, they're just doing it so that they can promote renewables. It's a grift.